It has been one of those days. Despite the title, I do actually quite like my job. Now, I work as a crew member at McDonald's, and today was just one of those days where it really wasn't a great day. What do you mean it's clickbait? How else was I supposed to get you to watch the video, huh? That's just how YouTube works. Today's video was supposed to be about this guy, but I guess I'm gonna have to postpone that for a day or two because I just have to talk about this while it's fresh in my mind. So today, earlier on, I had an 8-hour shift at McDonald's, and so much happened, I could probably talk about it for literally an hour. It's a morning shift, so I'm forced to get up at 5:30 a.m., which is not ideal. You know, it just really sucks, to be honest. Because not only do you have to get up early for one, it means you have to go to bed earlier the night before, and it just means you ruined your evening. You can't make videos, because I was going to make a video last night, but I couldn't because I had to go to bed, and just, okay, calm down. I wake up, everything's going sort of okay, apart from the fact that I can barely open my eyes. I managed to get to work dead on time at 7 o'clock, and everything is good, and then I get into the kitchen, and I start cooking. You know, that's what I've been doing for the past month since I've been working. I've been cooking stuff in the kitchen, and as it's a breakfast shift, I was cooking the sausages, and everything was going okay. One thing you should know if you're ever thinking about working in a restaurant, McDonald's in particular, because I have first-hand experience, is that you will get burnt. Okay, I said to myself at the start, you know what? I'm not gonna get burnt. I'm clever. No, you will definitely get burnt. A lot. My knuckle right now literally looks like a raw chicken's butt cheek. That's how pale it is because I burnt the skin off my hand today. So I'm cleaning the grill and I burn my hand on the top, the bit that goes down and cooks the sausages. So I think, okay, I'm gonna be careful. Next time, I'll put my hand further away from the top so I definitely don't get burned. What do I do when I do that? I burn my hand in pretty much exactly the same place on the grill itself underneath, and it was so much worse. And oh my gosh, it was the most painful thing I've experienced in a long time. If you've never been burnt, you won't know this, but when you're burnt, heat really hurts it. So I had to keep cooking the sausage patties, and the heat was just burning my hand every time. But about half an hour later, at 7:30, I then got told to do the trash walk. I've never done the trash walk before, but it's basically where you go around the car park, you pick up all the litter, you put it in the bin, you empty the bins, and you replace the bags and stuff like that. And it sounds like a pretty simple job. It should take you maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours if you do it slowly, because it's a pretty big car park and there is a lot of rubbish. The reason I did it so slowly is because the guy who showed me how to do it failed to mention that there's a trolley you're supposed to take out with you so you can put all the rubbish on. So instead of that, I just had to carry it all myself for 2 hours. 2 hours. So from 7:30 to 9:30, I'm doing the rubbish. Now, it was an interesting experience. For the first 20 minutes, I was just trying to get used to how the grabby thing worked. You know, the little claw? It was basically like arcade game practice because I was just trying to pick up small, tiny little things like straw wrappers, cigarette butts, and it was a little bit frustrating at times, and my hands started cramping up, and I looked like an idiot as well, by the way. They gave me this really bright fluorescent jacket, but not only that, it was extremely thick, so I was sweating underneath that like you wouldn't believe. But anyway, I finished picking up all the litter, and it's time to empty the bins. I empty about 3 bins, and then another bin I empty is about half full. So I think, okay, I'm going to leave that bag there and leave it open, so then when I've emptied all the other bins, I can fill up that bag with any litter that may have fallen out of the bins while I've been emptying them and stuff like that. I go to the other side of the car park, and as I'm emptying one of the bins, I look over, and some massive fat seagull has got his beak inside the bag, chucking the rubbish everywhere. Now, I'm not having this. I am not having this right now. So I waltz up to that seagull, shoo him away, and then tie up the bag. Everything's okay. I've tied up the bag. I've left it by the bin, as I've done with all the other tied up bags, so I can then collect them as I walk back because, you know, I didn't have the trolley. So I go to the next bin, and everything's fine, and the seagull has literally pecked a hole in the now tied up half-full bag just to try and annoy me. Now, what's one thing you expect when you go out on a trash walk? You expect to pick up rubbish, and that's it. I didn't expect to go behind the back of DFS to wrestle a seagull for a McFlurry spoon and a side of fries, because that it just shouldn't happen. Aside from that, I also had to touch a lot of gunk. Like, I don't know what was in the bottom of half those bins, but it was not on the menu, that's for sure. Another thing that happened, when I was picking up the rubbish, everything was fine, the car park was relatively empty, and then by the end of the trash walk, there was a little toy truck parked in one of the spaces. It's probably about as big as my head, and it was just parked in the space perfectly. I had no idea who put it there, and it just remained there for the rest of the day. Another thing that happened was a family walked out of the restaurant, obviously just had a lovely McDonald's breakfast, which I probably could have cooked if I wasn't doing the trash walk, and then the girl thinks it's hilarious to take pictures of me on her phone while they're driving away. I know I look like a marshmallow, okay? I literally look like a minion combined with the Michelin Man, okay? I literally look like a yellow puffball. But I will never see this picture. I bet you any money it was a Snapchat story and it had a caption saying he's loving it or something like that. Something really witty, you know? Something like that. And then the time comes, it's the final 2 bags of the trash walk. I'm walking over to the bin and it splits on me. The bag literally splits on me, and then a very questionable liquid, probably a mixture of coffee, milkshake, Fanta, anything else that some people put in there last night. It dripped all down my leg and all over my crotch, and it was just terrible. I smelled awful, I was dirty, I was just glad for it to be 9:30 for me to get off the trash walk. I literally think I might be the first ever YouTuber to talk for 5 minutes about collecting rubbish off the floor, but I'm doing it, why not? So I get in, and my break is actually a pretty good break. You know, I have some water, I have a banana, and Takeshi's Castle is on the television. If you remember Takeshi's Castle, you are an awesome person. But I get off my break at 10:30, and I go in the kitchen, ready to finally start some cooking, because that is what I'm used to. I actually start washing my burn under the tap, because it's still hurting from a few hours ago, and I may have pulled the skin off a little bit, which in turn made me stay at the sink for a little bit longer. And I'm not sure if they would have asked this if I wasn't at the sink, but they asked me to, quote, do the dive. If you're not familiar with McDonald's lingo, do the dive means do the washing up. And you think, okay, I've done washing up in my time. I got this. I was washing up for 3.5 hours. I basically had to wash every single last thing that they used for breakfast, which was 5:30 until 10:30. I washed literally everything. The manager of the shop kept complaining at me to do it quicker, and I was just like, what am I supposed to do? If I do it quicker, I won't actually clean the stuff. And I don't understand why every time someone walked past me, even though it was like 2 hours into me doing the washing up, they said, oh, you're still here? I was like, yes. You can see that I'm right there. And whilst I was doing the washing up, the same manager came over and cleaned off the, mustard dispenser. So the whole area smelled of mustard for, half an hour. So when it came to cleaning the sausage trays, I literally took the tray liner and sniffed it right by my nose so I could just get rid of that mustard stench. So keep in mind, I'm very much used to working in the kitchen at McDonald's. It's 2 o'clock and there's only 45 minutes left until my shift finishes. And I've only spent half an hour in the kitchen, during which I burnt myself in the same place twice. Literally, today's just been mental. I've got work again tomorrow. I really want to go into the kitchen tomorrow, seriously. And another thing I forgot to mention when I was washing up, one of the trays fell and literally crushed my finger. I'm surprised I didn't shout any rude words, because to be honest, everyone does when they get hurt in the kitchen. It's no secret. You could probably hear that in the restaurant if you listen close enough. My finger started bleeding. I had to bite my lip and just keep going, because I had people saying I was doing it slowly. Then there was one manager saying what a great job I was doing. So thank you to that manager. I'm not going to say your name or anything, because I don't know if any of you will watch this or anything like that, but thank you. So it finally came to the end of my shift, and I was so glad to be done. And because of how much I sweated, I thought, you know what, I'm going to have to put my work shirt in the wash after this. And what happens when I take my name badge off my shirt? I stab myself in the finger, and I start bleeding again. I can't believe it. It's been such a bad day. And when I got home, literally, my shoulders are aching, my legs are aching. I've done so much today, and it really annoyed me that they kept getting on how slow I was doing it, because I bet you any money I was doing it more thorough than anyone else that has ever done either of those jobs before. Either the trash walk, because, the car park looked pretty pristine, if I say so myself, and all the washing up was done perfectly. I'm not going to say perfectly, but it was done pretty well. Oh yeah, and the final thing, the real icing on the cake with the cherry on top, is because of how hard I worked with the washing up. The amount of water that kept flying everywhere with the spray tap thingy and just the water in the sink. So much got on my shoes, there is now a hole in them. So all of the money I earned today doing all of those tasks and jobs and horrible things, I have to spend on a new pair of shoes because of those tasks. Can it get any worse? So essentially, all today earned me was a lot of injuries, a fight with the Seagull, and me having to spend all the money I earned doing it on a new pair of shoes because they broke whilst I was doing it. Fantastic. I think I'm going to stop this video here. Like I said, I could definitely keep talking about it for a long time, but I don't want to bore you. Like I said at the start of the video about Mark Thomas will be up in a day or two. That's going to be fun to make, but I just had to make this video while it was fresh in my mind. And I'm just going to edit this, relax, maybe play the PS4, and just chill, because I feel like I need it. Before I go, I just want to say a massive thank you for all the love and support on the channel. It really means a lot to me, and if you are new around here, then why not click subscribe to be told when I make a new video, and that'll make you one of my favorite people. But for now, I will see you in the next video very soon.